Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Ben. In this video, I will discuss basic aspects of nutrition for infants from birth until 1 year of age. I have compiled these recommendations from several resources. I will put links to these and additional information in the description. As always, check with your child's doctor to see if this advice applies to your child, especially if they were born preterm or have any medical conditions or developmental delays. Let's start with liquids. It is ideal to only provide breast milk the first 6 months of life, and then continue breastfeeding the remainder of the first year. Your pediatrician may recommend vitamin D or iron supplements. If exclusive breastfeeding is not an option, provide an iron-fortified, FDA-approved infant formula. If you use powdered formula, scoops should be level, not overflowing, and be sure to measure things correctly as indicated on the can. Take care to store formula and pumped breast milk correctly. You can pause the video to write down guidelines I have put for this on the screen. When feeding from a bottle, support your baby's head and hold the bottle at an angle so that fluid fills the nipple without any air. If it is too flat, your baby will swallow the air, which can cause reflux and gas. If it is too vertical, this may increase the risk of choking and developing ear infections. Do not put cereal or other food in the bottle unless advised to do so by your pediatrician, as this can cause choking and too much weight gain. When your baby is 6 months old, you can start providing water in a cup, building up to 4 to 8 ounces a day. As your baby's cup skills increase, start transitioning off the bottle. During the first few weeks of life, you may need to wake your child to eat every few hours. Your pediatrician will advise about this. After this point, your baby will give hunger and fullness cues to show you when and how much they need to drink. Responding to these feeding cues appropriately is called responsive feeding. If your baby is crying but not showing any hunger cues, then there is likely a different source of discomfort, so try other techniques to soothe your child before offering the breast or bottle. When your baby starts to show fullness cues, stop the feed. Do not force your baby to finish a bottle, as this can cause feeding problems and too much weight gain. To be clear, your baby should only drink breast milk, formula, or water during the first year of life. They should not have juice or any other drinks. Now let's begin discussing food. If you are exclusively breastfeeding, the general recommendation is to wait until your baby is 6 months old to start offering foods. Otherwise, you can start as early as 4 months if your baby can sit upright while supported in a high chair with good head control, and transfer food to the back of their mouth to swallow without choking. If your baby does not meet these milestones, wait 1 or 2 weeks and try again. When deciding what foods to offer, there are some health and safety considerations to keep in mind. You can pause the video to copy this information down if you would like. During the first year of life, do not give your baby any honey or products with honey, eggs that are runny or have soft yolks, foods with added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or high salt content, any unpasteurized products, and make sure foods are cooked to an appropriate temperature. I am putting storage guidelines for food on the screen you can copy to refer to later. Do not let your baby's saliva get into any food you plan to store. Rather, put food on a separate plate and serve from there. The other big concern is choking. I'm showing examples of different choking risks on the screen. In general, avoid foods that are round, sticky, hard, or larger than ½ an inch in width, about the size of a nickel. You can offer some of these foods if you prepare them safely. Remove pits, seeds, tough skins or peels, and bones. Cut round foods like grapes and cylindrical foods like baby carrots along the length. Then chop them into smaller pieces less than ½ an inch in width. Foods should be soft enough to squeeze easily with your fingers. You can cook, grind, puree, or mash foods when needed. To further decrease the choking risk, make sure your child is sitting upright and supervise them when they are eating. Understand that gagging is different from choking. Choking means your baby's airway is blocked, so they would not be able to cough or cry. Make sure you know what to do if your baby does start to choke. I am showing the basic steps on the screen, and I will include a link to a video demonstration in the description that you can watch. You should also be careful of food allergies. It is generally recommended to wait 3 to 5 days between offering new foods, so you can see if your baby has a reaction. The most common food allergies are listed on the screen. You should offer a few other foods before offering any of these. If your child has reactions to other foods, significant eczema, or a sibling with a peanut allergy, ask your pediatrician for advice on how and when to introduce these foods. If there are no concerns, begin offering these relatively early in the first year of life, especially peanut and egg products, as this may help prevent food allergies from developing. So what foods should you give your child? For breastfed babies, their first food should be an iron-fortified baby cereal to make sure they get enough iron. Offer a variety of types, not just rice cereal, as this can have too much of a heavy metal called arsenic. For exclusively formula-fed babies, you do not have to give iron-fortified cereals, as your baby will get enough iron from the formula. Otherwise, introduce a variety of foods and flavors so your baby is eating from all the food groups by the age of 8 months. You can start with strained or pureed foods, progress to lumpier and thicker options by around 8 months of age, and then further progress to chopped or diced food, ground meat, and finger foods the remainder of the first year, as your baby tolerates them. Since babies do not need to eat that much food, only offer nutritious choices and stay away from junk food. There are many other ways to prepare foods for your baby. When choosing fruits and vegetables, fresh, frozen, and canned are all good options. Just make sure any canned items are packed in water or 100% juice, not syrup, and try to choose options that are low in salt or sodium. If you want to take a baby-led weaning approach, this is fine. Just be mindful of the choking risks discussed earlier in the video. I have found the website solidstarts.com to be very helpful in teaching how to prepare a variety of different foods for babies and toddlers. You can look through that website for ideas if you would like. Now you have an idea of how to provide the foods, but how much should you give? There's no perfect answer to this question. I'm showing a table on the screen that provides a rough guideline of how much food infants should eat each day from age 6 to 12 months. However, converting different measurements can be confusing, and different babies eat different amounts, which is why there are large ranges for the meal size. Instead of worrying about these specifics, I recommend that when you offer new foods, only provide 1 or 2 teaspoons so your baby is not overwhelmed. Gradually increase the amount you offer over time, up to 1 to 4 tablespoons, and move towards a 3-meal and 2 to 3 snack daily schedule by the end of the first year. When your baby is eating 5 or 6 times a day, offer breast milk or formula with the meals and snacks, not in between, so your baby is hungry when it is time to eat. Here is an example menu from the American Academy of Pediatrics for ages 8 to 12 months. Sticking to 2 ounces for each option, which is usually similar to 4 tablespoons, will be more appropriate for most babies. While it is your responsibility to provide the nutritious meals and snacks, you should still use responsive feeding, as discussed earlier in the video, to let your baby determine if they want to eat the food and how much they want to eat. If you think your baby is eating too much or too little, ask your pediatrician about your baby's growth, and they will be happy to make any suggestions if you should change things in some way. You now know much of the basics for how to feed your baby in the first year of life. I certainly have not covered everything, so feel free to look through the resources I put in the description below and ask any further questions in the comments. I hope you all found this video informative, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.